So, good morning, guys. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be working with the completed web API, and we're going to be putting the views into our MVC. So why don't we go ahead and just test real quick here. We have a Swagger running, right? Sell me the old mic, I need one. It doesn't work right, but I'm sending it in to get refurbished, and then I could sell it at that point, but I could also use it for video game recording as well, because it's a Blue Yeti, so it has better, it has like 360 sound and really good quality. This one is a shotgun mic, so they use this professionally, and it will only take sound in from the front and not from the sides, even though it will a little bit. So I can place it up here, or I can place it over here. Just have it a couple of feet from me, and then we shouldn't have keyboard sound or air conditioner sound. And look, no more chair creak, thank God. Okay, so if we look here in accounts, and I look at my Get account, I should see that I have an account registered here, and I do. I'm just calling it, this is the ID. It looks like I have a couple. So I can pull their ID here, and then I can check to see about their streams, okay? So if I look at a Get stream, it's gonna ask me to pull in one stream. So I need to look at this one account to get that stream ID, which is, so there are no streams attached to this account, but there are on this one. I feel like this should be displaying the number of streams. So let's do that real quick. Let's make that happen. So here in my web API, where I have my accounts controller, when you're doing this account response, you also want to get an integer called my stream count. And so now when you are creating this Get account, and you're doing this Get, now here you're going to do your var view model equals this. So that way here you can add in your this has a number of different streams in the account view model, but in your account child view model, sorry about the tunes there, teleporter. Yeah, that's what I would use. It is for streaming gameplay. The Yeti mic. They really like the Yeti mic for streaming, but I feel like that's just smart investing or marketing. I don't see anything too special about it over other mics, but we'll find out quick. Well, let's talk then if you're interested, because they'll send it back to me. It works great, but the output doesn't work, so I don't hear myself anymore. I don't hear that. So that means that it's not here. It's in my, it doesn't go here, does it? That means that the stream count is actually where you're creating here. Create account. Get accounts here. Get accounts async. This returns this account child view model. So this did have the okay. So now if you look here, this is where you can calculate it. Sorry, a little early this morning still. So this one's going to be your var view model equals this. And then here your view model. Here we go. Stream count equals my s.streams.count. So that means that back here in my account response, you can get rid of. Here we go. Okay, so now when I'm looking here at accounts and I get this, you can see that it's going to tell me that there's nothing. There's no accounts. So did something break and then it's just not working right? It says that the counts are none. But when you look at accounts, they're there. So let's check this. Oh, you know what it is it's up here when you're doing this account child view model. You need to take this and put that there. And you want to ignore string count. Now it'll work. So Mike, can I ask where you're from? Let's try it again. It still says none. Ohio. All right. Okay, let's see. So view model here works, and then stream count says 1. Oh, derp, 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 derp. View models dot add view model. Now it'll work. Negative. I'm not left-handed. I have my camera reversed. Otherwise, I'm facing that way. There. Stream count 1. So now we can make sure that we have this one here. And so now when I get this account, you can see it shows me the one stream here. And also it looks like I have a bot registered to it here. So if I look down at bots, here you can see that it has a provider and an account that it's attached to, and also the user that it's attached to. A user is a part of a provider. So here you can see this is like Twitch users, and then this would be all user, right? And so the other one is that we have something called routes. I don't think we finished with this one, but if I looked at get routes, it's probably going to tell me no. Oh, it worked. Perfect. So now if I want to look at one route here, it's this one. There you can see my route. My route type is messed up here, which means that this is a routed, which is here. There you go. And that's everything. So that's our whole app, just on the back end. So let's go ahead and build that front end. Okay, when we look at the MVC, let's go ahead and launch it. I probably need to get our identity server running. Probably the first thing I want to do is to clear this database, huh? Because it's got all that crap data in there. And then also, I probably want to do something with those tokens. Where you have those things being. So you have them passed into the... Now you're doing it here in auth. Callback. So this is where you're registering a bot. Okay. So the very first thing that I need to do is look at my areas and see which ones I have already completed. So it looks like I have something here called a... Let's run it. Oh, I deleted the database, right? Yeah. And so now this one needs to be my default. And it is, and then this is my code first, and then we need to do an update database. Right here, this is the token. We need to, when we save it here. Hey, there's the back end running. Here's the front end. And then we also need to get the identity server running. There it is. Okay, the identity server is running. The web API is running, and there's the MVC. Okay, so here we are. We're currently not logged in. We're not authorized or anything. Just perfect. So then we click on login. It's going to connect me over to my authorization server. We can do my third-party authorization here, like with Twitch. That's the one I know I have hooked up at the moment. It's going to kick me through. And now, let's see. The first one I want to look at would probably be like a bots. So AliChat bots does not currently exist. Perfect. So let's go ahead and bring some of this stuff back here. So here's get. Okay, so in your client services, it doesn't look like that you have all of these written. Oh, yep, no worries. Understood. Mike, totally got it. Okay, so here on the web API data access layer, I need to check my, it's in my modules, my alley chat, my data access layer and the services, and I want to look at this one. I'm going to bring this over here, and now we only need to work in the interface right now. So here, we need to add in like this, except for bots. These are very standard. So we have get stream. Let me do this here. And we're going to change stream to bot. I am using MVC 4. This one here is just a bot ID, right? But you need a second one below this, which is a account ID and a user ID. And you have a create a bot, and an update, and then a delete, which is passing my bot ID here. I really want to put back in the tokens, but we can do that at the end. So that's fine. So this is get bots async, right? Like that. And this is going to be called a response here. Okay. And then we are going to, if it can't be loaded, we'll go all the way back to index, okay? This one here is create channel, create bot. We'll worry about this in just a minute. And this one is going to be going to my, if you look at channel create, wait, create channel shouldn't be in the bot's controller, should it? Interesting. So let's just take these two out. This is a get. That's right. And then this is going to kick me back towards that should be fine. Okay. So now over here inside of bots, if we look at index, I used Unity, not Unity 3D obviously, but I used the Unity inversion of a container, and that's here. So I have one in my MVC and my web API, and so in the MVC it's right here. It's called Bootstrapper for my MVC. So I'm using this Unity container. Looks like I'm not really assigning any types except for this one here. But down on my web API, I'm using quite a bit more. And that one's called my Unity config. I guess it's just still a few. Interesting. My last project was huge. Okay. So when I look at this, this thing is going to my, not a Twitch, it's a lib, and this is called a bot view model. And then if we look at widget index here, bot view model. It's under user called username. Don't worry about that. That looks pretty good. And then if I look back at the controller, this thing should be returning bot view models, and that is. And then if I look back at the aside under my views shared, I can make sure that my link is working. And then let's run it. You use DLL simple injector? I do not. I don't believe so, unless it's one of the something that Unity is dependent on. Let's run the MVC. Yeah, it's DI. That's fine. That's standard DI, but how do you initialize it? It looks exactly the same. Yeah, this looks exactly the same as Unity. Cool. Always like new tools. So let's come back and take a look here. If I go to bots. How are you guys doing? If you haven't yet, please click the follow. Thanks for checking us out. AliChat bots could not be found. Oops, because it's not running. Oh, you forgot to implement this stuff, huh? So let's go ahead and implement it. We'll do it from this one. And let's change provider here to be bot. Same with provider. That one's fine. So it's not this, it's going to be a GUID account ID and then a GUID user ID. Like that. And this one's going to be account ID. Like that. And then we have to do this create bot. That looks fine. Update the bot. That looks fine. And then delete the bot. And this is going to be called my bot ID. And this one here will be provider ID, right? Stream ID. And this one says that it does not implement create bot or bot create request, bot update request, because this is using view models. I'm not sure what's happening here. Base view model here says that there's no ID. That's BS. For each item in modal, this is widget index, right? Because there's going to be a collection of these. So it's a, yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and close all this. And then I want to rebuild it. I still don't see what this is saying doesn't exist. Those two are fine. So let's rebuild it. Should be fine now. All right, let's run it. Okay, here we go. Let's try it out. I get more coffee in a second. So this looks familiar, right? Register a bot here. So now if I look at a bot, currently it has an account, a user on it. So let's come back over here into my MVC, and we want to go into my areas here, and we want to go into models, and we want to create something here called a account create. Sorry, this is a bot create. Was that bot create or bot? It's not bot create. This is bot. So you do want this one. You don't want this one, and you don't want that one. So we're just going to call this bot phs.mvc.areas.models, like that. So why are we changing this? Because the view model is exposing too many things. Because here, all you want to expose is this username, and then also a provider, right? And then also, I guess you want to have one more of these, and it's going to be for something that's called a stream count, right? Hold on. Yeah. So let's go add that. You also want to have one called channels count, right? And then you want to have those same things here, right? Except for instead of THs, these are TDs. And then you don't need this. Because I think you already did this down here in streams inside of index. You should have these buttons. I guess it's under create, right? Well, index was probably fine. This one. Okay, and now back over here in the controller, you need to make sure that this thing is so now you're going to do a var, and it's going to be a bots equals new list of bot, right? And this comes from the perfect. And then you're going to do a for each var bot in response.bots bots.add. And then it's going to be a new one of these things. That's going to have a user, which is going to be equal to my bot dot. So this is a user child view model. So that's just going to be a user. And then it's going to be a bot dot. When you look at this, you want to go look at bots response, right? There's a bot view model. It's going to have the user that it's attached to, the account that it's attached to. But we don't have the streams that it's attached to, right? And we also don't have the so there needs to be a public I collection of your stream view model. And then another one for channels, right? And then also you need to change that on your bot child view model. So this is going to have a stream count, right? And this one's going to have a channel count. So now back here in your data access layer where you're filling these, get bot. That should be fine. That should be fine. Well, you'll worry about it as it comes up. So this is going to be a channels.count, right? Let's give that a try. So I imagine the web API is fine. I mean, I know the web API is fine. I meant that I probably don't need to run the web API each time now. Where's my errors? No more creaking, notice that? Just a little bit now. Let's try reloading that. Here you go. Name, username, stream count, channels count. So we still have this create new, so let's get rid of that. So this header is in the wrong place, or footer, sorry. There, that looks better. Let's add some attributes here so we get the displays correctly. What is name? So this one is going to be called display streams count. Number of streams. And this one we're going to say that this is my number of channels. This thing is called a username. And this thing is going to be called a like that. Try that. Ugh. There you go. Cool. So Ali chat, we look at my bots. Here it is, provider name, username, number of streams, number of channels. So now if I click create, nothing's going to happen. Oh, it did. Interesting. If I look back here, did I just get lucky? Create bots. And this is passing in my anti-forgery token? No. Doesn't need one. But I imagine that this did create a bot, right? So let me look at bots in the database, see if we just get anything there. Nope, so it's not registering. Hey there, Newfly. How are you doing today? Oh yeah, I know why that's not registering. Because here in my... So let's come and look here at the... It's in my callback controller, right? It's right here. So here you're going to say var create response equals await the client services ali chat dot create account create bot async. Well, you want to see if the bot already exists. Var bot response equals await client services ali chat get bot async. And I should have two. One is the GUID and one is by account ID and user ID. So the first thing you need to do is you need to get that user from Twitch. Var user response equals await get Twitch user by Twitch user ID. And this one's going to be my user from Twitch dot Twitch ID. It's just ID. And then your resource server. So now if my user response dot response code is equal to integer http status code dot OK, then what you want to do is then you want to create it. And then you need to pass in this request, which is going to have a provider ID and then also a Twitch ID. Excel Papa Bear says, I'm confused. You are not multi-threading, rather creating new instances of the bot with all new connections to the IRC server. Yeah, so each time that the bot essentially has multiple connections that are contained within it, right? So imagine you have an application and then it has a collection of bots and each bot is established to your own account. So we connect on that account and then that account essentially is a standalone thing that you can manage and operate with. It is still doing multi-threading because I'm using async await and then also concurrent dictionaries in the concurrent classes. And then username here is user from Twitch dot username. Display name. If user response dot response code does not equal to HTTP status code dot OK, then what you want to do is and if it doesn't, then we're going to get a unable to retrieve access token, unable to save account, right? And this one's going to redirect to users. If my GUID.tryparse so now you need to get your provider. Have you ever gotten it yet? So when you get Twitch here, though, do you need... get provider. And you should be able to do this by provider name, which is Twitch. And then the resource user. So now I can have my provider ID here. Yeah, but most IRC servers will have a max on simultaneous connections. Not sure how Twitch handles that. Are you talking about from the same IP or from the same username? Because from the same username, yes. But from the same multiple usernames, that one is where it gets questionable. And what about different IPs? That's also where it gets questionable. So it might be that I need to end-tier this out and then put them behind a subnet or something. Yes, so it's not from the same username. So that's the key with this one, is that, so I have ali.chat, which is the default bot, right? But then you could come in there and you could register XL Papa Bear LX, and then that could then be a bot on your behalf. Or you can make another one, say XL Papa Bear LX Mike bot, and then that one you could register, and then that would get its own separate connection. And this one needs to have my resource URL, okay? So now that you get your, you have to try to get your bot here, and this one's going to be a account ID, which is my user.identity .get user ID, right? And then this one is going to be my user response .user.id. And then this one is my resource. If bot response dot response code. And this is a string. If response code here is equal to integer HTTP status code .ok, then here you want to But when you look here at user response, but if you look at this and you look at the user response where this is a type of user view model, this thing has a provider on it, and it should also have a so this user should have a bot on it, just one though. And it's a bot child, right? So we don't want this. We're just going to make this a is bot. We'll do a is Ali chat bot, like that. So that means that you also have to do your user child view model. And then also on user. Just 1 second, I see that. Would have probably been easier not to do it that way, huh? That one. Wow, that was not helpful, huh? Oh no, see, this one already has it. So when you are pulling that here in your data access layer, when you're doing a get a bot here, and so now you're going to say if my entity.bot it's not a bot, it's a user, right? That's where you're pulling this is from a user. Isn't this supposed to be a user child? It is. But here, like that, right? And then you're going to say view model dot count is Ali chat bot if s dot bot does not equal to null. Then you want to say that your view model dot is bot account equals true. And then let's do this one more time here. This one shouldn't have this because this should have a bot attached to it, right? Yeah. Like that. Okay, let's see what we say. I see, however, is the end user forced? Hey, Steamboat Willie. Thank you for that follow. If you have any questions, please put them into the channel. We've got a really active and supportive community. Also, all the older videos are up on YouTube. and they don't have any music on them, so you can check out any of the videos from the first two where we currently are. Let me go ahead and get that link up there. We're a couple of URLs follows away from having a custom URL still, so if you could give me a follow on YouTube, thank you. However, is the end user forced to create a custom bot? If not, then the resources will eventually or quickly run out. That is correct. So the user will be forced, the user will not be forced to create a separate bot, but if you want to use the Ali.chat original bot, then you do have a potential chance of having resources flux. So that's where horizontal scaling comes in, because I could essentially spin up different VMs and then I could have different connections on each of those. And then potentially I could contact the Twitch or something and introduce the program and see if they're able to increase the number of simultaneous connections. I could even put in something that would manage the number of simultaneous connections. So we'll just kind of have to see how this goes and what happens. Wow, you really didn't do this right, did you? That's fine. Like that. Let's go ahead and fix these. That one's fine. Bot child view model. Get channels. I see. Thanks. No problem. If you see any problems with the design, let me know before we get too far along, though. Definitely, I appreciate the input. Almost done here. At least I was consistent. Whoa, just a few more. User child view model looks good. All right, that looks pretty good. So here, we didn't quite finish here. Let me think for just a second. Because this is get user, right? Yeah. So if this is equal to null, does not equal to null, then you can say that this user already exists. The user is already a bot for another account. Okay? And then you're going to redirect this back to index. Otherwise, now you're going to create it. And this one's going to be a bot create request. This one's going to be an account ID, which is my user.identity.getUserID. And then also it's going to be your OAuth token equals your response.access token. And then it's going to be your user ID equals your user response.user.id. .toString. And so now if my bot token, my bot response is okay, then we want to return to details of my users and this is going to be returning to my, oh, this is not users, this is bots, right? All right, that should probably work. Route child. Oh shit. If you look here, this is a base response. But this says that there's no route child view model cannot be used in routes. There is no conversion from route child view model to route view model. Now it'll work. Okay. Just a few more of those, I'm sure. Wait, where were the other ones that you just changed? Yeah, that's right. Two more. Twitch user here is a Twitch user's response, which is a Twitch user's async. This response here needs to be a user response of Twitch user child view model, which goes to this, and a user child view model. go ahead and clean it and then try it again. That worked. Probably going to need to run that web API too, right? Because you changed everything. Like that. Let's try that. Oh, this isn't even my crap. Hey, it launched. But we also need to launch that web API, right? And this one is unhappy with me here because this is a user child view model. So we need to make this one run first. Just a few more of these things. Hey there, Maro Haj. Thank you for that follow. Appreciate that. If you have any questions, please put them into the channel. We've got a really active, supportive community that we've gained since we started streaming just about a year and a half ago. So make sure you join us at the Discord. Also, all the videos are up on YouTube from the first one to where we currently are, and there's no music, so nothing's muted, and the link is right there. So you guys could please give me a follow if you haven't yet. Thanks, appreciate it. Okay, here, this one is channels. This one needs to be a channel child view model, right? This one needs to be a bot child view model. Like that. This one's going to be and this is probably the last one. So now you can rebuild it. All right, that worked. Let's go ahead and run it. We'll probably also need to run this web API, right? Come on, come on. So just before we start, I wanted to double check to make sure that everything's working here. If I look at my accounts, I don't have any accounts in here, so let's make that one first. So to do that, we have to make sure that we are creating the account when we're starting this out. We don't have our authorization set up yet correctly. So that should have created an account here. Nope. So if we look back at what happened in my MVC when I started this at my startup, let's try this again. They call it Smart Admin. That's a template that you can buy out there. I'm trying to go quickly on this project, so work with what you have available. So it says response should be null. So this says that it's not found. So if I looked back over at my client services account, because you changed this yesterday, it's okay if you just do it like this. Hey Nafli, how are you doing today? Welcome to the channel. Okay, check this again. Let's try to log in here. Try that. I've got Fallout 4 soundtrack playing. Okay, and it's going to create the account, and my response code is okay, so it should have worked now, and it did. So now when I look back here at bots, let's go ahead and take a look at what happened here. That looks fine. So now we're going to create one here. So let's see what happens here. This is inside of my auth callback controller. It was up here at get provider async, right? When you look at get Twitch user by Twitch ID, and you look back over here at my Twitch users controller, here's by ID. So I don't see where you have the one for by username here. So let's take one more peek then at Twitch users, and if I look at get Twitch user, ID or username. So here you're going to say an ID was passed. A username was passed. We want to do this toLower.trim, right? And then you want to return here, you want to do your response.user. It's going to be equal to your await, your data access service.get Twitch user. And you want to pass in your user.id. Like that. Like that. Like that. Like that. So that says ID or username now. So back here in the client services, right here, get, nope, it's get Twitch user by username ID. Let me pull this over for a second. If you look back at your auth callback controller here, you are using this one here. But this is wrong because you just found that back at your controller. Yeah, smart admin template. Twitch user is here. No, it's Twitch users, so it's here. And the one you want is get Twitch user by user ID, so you have that here. So it's ID or Twitch user ID, is that correct? But you do need to have another one of these called get Twitch user, and this is going to be a string called Twitch ID. Like that. Like that, and then if this in fact is not equal to null, then you're going to return OK. Like that. So that says get Twitch user, so get Twitch user by Twitch user ID. And this goes under lechat.user /Twitch ID or Twitch ID equals, and then you're going to pass in your Twitch ID. So that should be working now. And we need to change this up here. I don't understand what's happening here. Get Twitch user by ID. We'll have to fix this. There we go, that's working. Like that. This one should go here, and this should be a GUID, and this should be called your Twitch user ID. Like that. I gotta bring this one in. That looks good. That looks good. That looks good. That looks pretty good all around. Whoops, what did I just do? I gotta fix that. Okay. Get Twitch user by Twitch ID. Async. Perfect. Let's give that a run. Get Twitch user async. This is the data access layer. So you have to get the one that is the get Twitch user async, which is Twitch ID. Easy enough. So we're going to get this async s where my s.twitch ID is equal to Twitch ID. Like that. Like that. Let's give that a run. Oh, you gotta run the back end here. There it is. Okay, so here it is. We checked to see there's no bots. Everything worked fine. Okay, and then we click create. It's going to authorize it. Kicks through. It wants to get my user's response, which it says was a bad request. Get Twitch user by user ID. Get Twitch user by Twitch user ID. Get Twitch user, Twitch ID or Twitch ID. So here, get Twitch user by Twitch. And then over here in the Twitch users, get Twitch user by Twitch user ID, Alexander I Twitch user Twitch. Let's try it again. Yeah. So it's not that. It's got a ID or Twitch ID. Dirt, 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 dirt. That should be working now. So I got 2 instances of that running, but I really want this one running. Try that. It's going to give me a couple more breakpoints here. Okay, it's getting the provider here. Didn't like that at all. Try that one. Provider name. And now if I look back over at the web API for providers, get provider just has an ID. So this needs to be an ID or name. Like that. Okay, you got one by name. Like this. Okay, try it. And then we'll create it. My provider is still null. It was ID or name. We also need to add our web API. All right, let's take a look. We go to bots. It got my provider. It did not get a response. So now we're here. We're just working our way through it. So guys, what I need to do right now is I need to take a quick break. So we were having a little bit of a problem with when we were registering a user. So let's go ahead and give it a try, see what's happening. Or it's a bot, I'm sorry. Here we go. That's me. So it does kick over here, and is it passing in my information? I don't want to show this because it has a OAuth token in it. Yeah, it has all the information. No OAuth token in this one. It's just going to try to make... So here it's going to try to parse out the provider ID, and it got my provider unsuccessfully. So if I look back at provider, here you can see it's CEF4, and the one that I'm pulling is F2F. So that's being passed here. Let's check it again. I want to see what provider it's pulling here. CEF. Oops. There's a provider in here. So this is called a provider response. If provider response dot response code does not equal integer HTTP status code dot OK, then you want to do this. Unable to get Twitch provider. Unable to retrieve records. Try again later. All right. And now we can go ahead and run that. Let's try it again. Don't remember if you started it yet. Let's try it again. This one's just the MVC. And then we need to do just the web API. And then we'll create it. We'll authorize it. Your response code here is 200. So that worked. So now you're going to check to see if the bot is there. And then finally, your bot response is 400 bad request. So we're on the next one. And so now this needs to create bot async. You need to look back over here at your bots controller. Let's do it again. Okay, I got to check that create request. All that looks good. It got user. It didn't get account. EB383. That's because it's coming from account ID. So that means this one's wrong. I'm going to try clearing the database real quick and just see, and otherwise we're going to have to debug that. Let's delete this. And then we need to make sure that we have the correct one as the startup project, and then we need to update the database. Okay. Wait, what? I started with the identity server. One. That one's running. Web API. 2. That's running. And then the MVC. So there's the identity server running. There's the web API running, and there's the this one. And we can close that one out. If you look here at bots, and then create, we'll authorize it. It kicks. Bot was null again. Of course it would be, because you forgot to create that record. Now that record's created. So it got the user account. It did not get the account. So let me look back up here then. You must have where you're attaching this thing. Wait. This is only your auth callback, so you're actually not creating a bot here. Hold on. I want to look at my auth tables and I want to look at my user. EE4, this is that one. So this is in fact correct. And then if I look at accounts in here, EB38, so this one, I don't understand because my identity has already been set, right? This one. Well, let's just take another peek here. Let's stop it. And I want to check that claim. And this is going to be a get on context, so it's a request dot get on, well, context dot wouldn't you want to do it before any of this? So we'll do it right here. Let's try that. I just have a feeling that it's changing because it's being redirected. So if I capture it before the redirect, I think it'll be fine. Yeah, now it's going to totally work. There we go. EB383. 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 So it's not grabbing it from the so it's not account ID that I'm passing, it's ASP.NET user ID is what I'm passing to get my account ID. But you're passing the account ID, right? So let's go back over here. Var account equals await client services chat.get account async, and you can pass over your ID or your user ID, which was your ASP.NET user ID, and then also your resource API URL. Like that. And now this one would be account.id. That will work. That one's fine. And let's open the MVC. Okay. EC1533F3. That's not anything. Ah. Account.id. Bad request. So it didn't like this. So let me look at that one again here. What's happening? What is the ID that it's passing? EB383. EB383. And so now if I look back over here at my web API, under account, You have get account from, oh, it just says ID. This is the problem, is that this one is going to be either this ID or user ID. No, that's not going to work. Hold on. Just a second. Just a second. What do you want to pass here? Do you want to pass a user ID or do you want to pass the account? It always feels like you should do the account. So let's just copy this real quick. Because both of these are going to be goods, right? Because you realistically should just hit this with your user's access token, right? And that should retrieve their ID. So let's do that. So here, hey there, funny guy. Thank you for that host. Appreciate that, man. Funny raid, one-man raid. Don't know what that's all about. Two-man. How you guys doing? Yeah, I'm not writing tests for this code. It's really annoying. How you guys doing? Come on. That's so funny. I have no idea. How are you guys doing? So this thing... So here, you could just do it like this. You could say an access token was passed. Which means that it's going to be a... you need to get an account async, and that's going to be coming from, you have two of these ASP.NET user over, is it user.get, it's identity.get user ID. Oh man. Because in your web API you don't have that, it's actually on the claim. For the access token. Hold on. Hey guys, how are you doing? Oh, there it is all. Just wrapped up stream. How's it going, Rob? It's going great, man. Funny raid. Oh my god, it's you late, mate. Really funny raid. You all late. I don't know. What's new with the bot? Oh, I'm just bringing the front end in. I got the whole back end completed right now. Right now, I want this thing to get it so if I'm passing it with an access token, however, this is still a web API, so that means that you need to get it off the claim of the user. So you should be able to do like a user.identity.claim. I don't think you have claims because you didn't put the identity system on because you're not logging them in. This is fine. We'll leave this alone for right now. This is called getAccount, which has an ID. So let's just grab this whole thing. And we're going to do this as a get. Hey there, Zeno Alloy. Thank you for that follow. I appreciate that. C# and web dev. Interesting. I don't like this either. So I think we'll just do it with 2 parameters right now. We could just do it with like get account, and we want to say that this is a bool is user ID. Whatever, that's fine. Okay, this will be just fine, okay? And that's going to be false for a default value. So if then you're going to do this here, right? If my is ASP.NET user ID, and then you need to do this thing, right? Else, this will work. On ASP.NET an ASP.NET user ID was passed. So now you should be able to do something like response.account get this, get account by the ASP.NET username, which was ID. Yeah. And then this same thing here. So like that. Right? Looks good. This is only passing an ID and is ASP.NET null, so we'll move that over here. And then I have a client services library here. Let me work with that. What's new at the bottom? Funny, forgot to host. That's why people are late. Oh, I did host Bible Thought. It says I'm hosting. Twitch, why are you being stupid today? C# and web dev. Interesting. Pity I can't follow this. I hear your chair doesn't squeak now. Yeah, I spent some time yesterday and I tightened it all up because it was super irritating. Okay, so here, ID. This one's fine. I'm going to move this over. I want to pull up my client library here, which is this. Client services. So here you're going to pass in your get account async has an ID. This is going to be a bool and is ASP.NET user ID equals 1. Now hold on. False query string value. I need that too. I guess I'm worried about my neighbors. Squeaky chairs fit in with Horror Studios. Yeah, it was so loud though. Okay, we like this one right here. It says that it wants to do 1 and 0. Like that. And then this one here, you can do this as ID or provider name. Holy crap. ID equals to that. And is ASP.NET user ID equals 0. Okay, let's run it. See how it goes. Okay, that is the web API running. Now we're going to get the MVC running. Don't worry about these. Strange, I haven't had it twice in a row in a long time. There it is. Yes, sir, said Nari. I've got 4. I got the one here in front of me. I got the one that you can see over here. I have a vertical one over here, and then a 4th one, which is up top. Okay, alley chat here. We'll look at bots. Create. Oh, where did the bottom go? I'll have to fix that. Cool, so now this time it got the account. And then it's going to create this bot. It did not find the ID still. I gotta try that again. Something's off. C123. Oh, it says that the account is null. So this one's wrong. Let's do .response code is equal to integer HTTP status code .ok. And then this one, I needed to make sure that this is working. And then did this hit out here on the controller? Oh, this is an account. Let's try it again. I think I'm limited to 2 on mine. 2 days ago, I had this convo with someone who thought even a second screen was useless. So what does this bot do that others don't? So funny guy, what this does that's different is that you're able to register your own bot. So I have Ally.chat, right? And I've created Ally Chat and I registered her into the system. So she's a bot out there. But then funny guy, you could make an account on Twitch called Funny Guy Bot and you could authorize it in and then Funny Guy Bot would be your bot. It would be maintained by this website. You could put commands in. It'll also expose a WebSocket and a TCP socket stream. And then it'll be bringing in different RSS feeds together so that it's sort of like a backend as a service model. Yeah, it's already set up, actually. All that's working. I just need to clean up the calls here. So I shouldn't say it's working, but it was working. You can check it in the video. But I've cleaned up all the code base. Come on. Yes, sir. Hey there, Alec. How are you doing? Yes, sir, I am, Sonari. If I'm actually looking for beta testers, we should have the beta up by the end of the week. So I'll be looking for some beta testers if you guys are interested. So you can see I'm authorizing LiverDev trying right now. Just trying to make sure that he kicks in here. I want to try that again. Yeah, I would love to test this bot. It's perfect for my needs. Yeah, and then that way what you can do is you can create different streams in it, so to say. So you could be like, I want Discord, I want these 2 channels, and then so you could have that just expose those couple of events and send you a message stream on WebSocket that you could connect to, and so you could just develop. So ideally then, instead of having to figure out all the networking communications, you can just go in there and you can select the different sources that you want, have an output, and then be able to use that as a developer. That's the model. Yeah, Discord and Live EDU and Twitch are the ones that it starts with. So yeah, it is passing the correct ASP.NET user ID. Is ASP.NET user ID equals false? So it's definitely not taking this one because it should be saying it's true. So let me try changing these values then to true and false. Hey there, Alec. Thank you for that follow. Appreciate that. If you have any questions, please put them into the channel. We've got a really active and supportive community, and also all of the legacy videos are up on YouTube. And there's no music with those, so you can check those out here. And there is the link. So let me know. Yeah, just start there. Where you need a couple more follows up on YouTube before we can get a custom URL. Oops, I wonder what happened here. I wonder what happened here. Let me run it again. Okay, here we go. Web API. Yeah. So, right, you're interested then? I'm sorry, funny guy, you're interested then in being a tester? Sweet. I also have it set up so you can create games and stuff. We actually built a little game engine for it. Not a game engine, but sort of like a module engine sort of thing, which I need to wire up as soon as I get this up. Come on, this is driving me insane. There are no build errors. There are no problems. Oh, a live audience would work. I mean, your friends would work, to be honest. We just need people who like to break stuff. Okay, here we go. Okay. Yeah, now it's gonna work. Oh wait, what happened? There, that'll fix it. Uses the Jedi powers to convince the compiler there are no bugs. Use the Force, Luke. Yeah, I don't know. This VS gives me problems, 2017. We've seen it. Break stuff. Is that a challenge? If you like to. If you want it to be. I better put some limits on the number of accounts that you can create, huh? Yeah, I have a lot of problems with VS 2017, dude. So that worked. It says not found. What a crock of crap. Hey there, Milt on the Milton, the Epic. Thank you for that follow, or that host. Appreciate that, buddy. If you have any questions, please pop them into the channel. Really active and supportive community. What we want to do is check this ASP.NET EB383. That is right. So it did pass the right thing. Let's try it again. Hey there, Code Life. Welcome to the channel. How are you doing? Just so you know, Rob, there is a slight echo on the mic. An echo? Well, we have a new mic we're putting in today. Is there really an echo? Thank you for letting me know. I don't hear any echo. Let's check it here. That's right. Yeah, so it's not null, but it's going to fail here. Now, oh my goodness gracious, Robbie. Oh my goodness gracious. I don't hear any echo. I think that goes in your room. Well, we got that new mic coming in today, so that's really exciting, right? Yeah, so funny guy, I'm building this actually because I wanted it for my own games, for my own back end, so that I could have everything networked together. And then instead of making it small scale so it worked just for me, I kind of have made it so instead of being open source, it's a tool that anybody will be able to use once we get it finalized. It's just room echo. There we go. That looks like that's probably going to work this time, right? So close. B89. Still got the wrong one there, right? So let's go back. Create bot async. I need to double check because that has a token in it. Just a second. Yep. And is that being sent over from that request? Yep. So that means that back over here, account is null. Let's try this again. Yeah, it's not. This is a pretty quick project too. ID says FB988. Damn it, Robbie. That'll work. I don't want that to kick anything, so let's go ahead and kill what's running. And we'll run it again. Okay, web API is running. Okay. How are you guys doing? Thanks for coming checking out the channel. All of the legacy videos are actually up on YouTube. You can check those out right here. And we need a few more subscribers to get a custom URL. Still just started using YouTube, so thanks very much, guys, for the support. We look over here at bots and create. So I'm a little confused. This is a bot model. So it's a message routing model. Think of it more like a message routing model that then one of the modules that's created for it is for bots. Yes, so it will have all of the other bells and whistles, but that will be just the extension on the service, right? So the routing service is one of the big pieces here. Look, it worked. Ali chatbot details. What happened here? Because I don't think you have a details section yet, but that worked. So let's take a look back here now at my views. Yeah, you don't have one. So let's add a details in here. And this thing's going to be passing in what? A bot child view model or something like that? Or just a bot? I forget. We have to see. Let me see. What was it that I was passing back from this controller? This thing is going to spit me back out here to details and bots with my bot ID there. So this is just going to be it's a GUID or a string that this is passing. It's a string. Like that. It's just a get. I see, so basically modular. Yeah, I try to do everything modular. So that way, if you guys wanted, you could create your own application. So there'll be a couple of different applications out there, but then like I'll have something that's for my overlay, for example, right? The overlay will be using the bot, but I could, and the bot will be doing different messages. So I'll say like general messages, I want to turn those off. But what I do want to turn on in this is this event, and this event is driven by the incoming of this character with, and then these commands followed by it. So that way I could actually build my whole message queue system. If you think about, like, I don't know if I could do it with dynamic JSON or how exactly I would do it, but I build a lot of message routing systems, and that this one I could essentially build routing systems dynamically and on the fly. So it'd be really nice if I'd be able to take my own service, which would be needing some kind of we'll have to just kind of play it out and see how everything goes. But I have a vision up here a little bit, and it's kind of, it starts here, and then I think we can start to, as we add different applications, it's really going to kind of change a little bit and open up. So it becomes kind of this more general framework, similar to what like OAuth 2.0 is. But OAuth 2.0, if you're a developer, you have to go and you have to like grab all your different sources and route them all to your app. And this would be a solution sort of like Restream, where you have everything coming to one place, and then you can do all your routing in one location. So here, if my, we want to do a await here, my client services chat. And you have something here called get bot async, and we're going to pass over my GUID. And then also a resource server URL, which is easy. And this is going to be returning this view of this, right? And now this thing is a if my GUID.tryParse of my ID, and then we want to do a out GUID like that. And otherwise, you're going to have a viewBag.message which says the record could not be located. And then you're going to return a redirect to action to my index of my bots controller in my area called Alley Chat. I think we also need to have a views in here for details. Yeah, we'll see how it works there. But initially, being able to have different communication streams from the different RSS sources. Hey there, Lex Gamer BR. Thank you very much for that follow. I think that that's initially where we'll start because once that is completed, I'll be able to start adding different applications on, and it's just naturally going to form over time. I think it's going to be really interesting, yeah. But mostly this is for my own use, and then I'm kind of extending it for other developers. So we'll also be really open to the community with what the community has in store. And it'd also be really nice to be able to incorporate community productions into it. So like if you made some really fun something, and you wanted to incorporate it, I'd like to be able to do that as well. Oh. Okay, so this view is going to be called details, right? And it has a template called details, and it's not a partial view, and it's going to be from my bots. If you look here at your models for bot, we're going to call this bot child, right? Perfect. Okay. So let's get rid of details because I didn't want this one. And then this one, we want to do this as my bot view model. And then we need to do one more in here for the details here, right? Widget details. We miss a partial. We can just kind of copy and chunk this one. Like that, right? This thing for the size of the widget. Alrighty, see you later, Sonari. Thanks for hanging out. See you on the Discord. So this thing here is going to have a provider name, a username. Oh, this is wrong. Let me get rid of this table. Here in details, all this is showing is my OAuth token. How crappy. So this one is going to be like that, right? We don't care about this, but what we do care about is we want to get a user in here, right? We want to do a account. And you should have something in here like a ASP.NET user ID. You should have something in here like a stream count in that one. So we don't care about this. What we do care about is this user dot provider name. The next one here is, oh, you have to do this for each one of these, right? So you have like a at for each var item in, and it's my model dot. Don't you have this already as an aggregate? You do. Like this, and then this can go up here. So you don't need a provider name now, but what you do need is you need to get all of the different streams, right? So you don't care for the moment at the bot. You have the username of the stream. You need to get the username, which is my user dot username. Okay. You don't need to show those two, but then you do want to have your streams and your channels. So you can do that down here. That's fine. That looks fine there. And now if I look back down here at details, you need to make sure that you have a details page, which looks like this. Like that. We don't need this. We don't need this. We don't need these. And we don't need a data table. We might want a data table. We'll leave those alone. But we don't need those right now. Let's give it a try. Oh, I like your Twitch handle, says Mr. Cheap. Hey, how are you doing, man? Welcome. It's going great. How are you doing today? Thanks for the support there. If you could, do me a favor, click the follow. Also, all these videos are up on YouTube, so make sure you check those out. They go all the way back to the beginning with no music. Yeah. I'm going to go fry an egg and eat some pork chops. Sounds like a good breakfast. Let's go ahead and start this. I lost my train there. We have our web API first. And then the second one is our MVC. Okay, that worked. Here's the MVC. We look at bots. Here it is. Provider name, username, number of streams, number of channels. Let me look back over here. Where did I load this? Under my index. Okay. Under index. Oh, it says bot child. That's fine. That thing's a bot child, all right. Oops. This is a index, right? So it's a display for. Let's try it again. There it is. So it looks like I need to set up my click handler. So we don't need this. We don't need this one. But we do want this one. Not these two. We do want this data table. Let me move this over here for a second. So you do know that because you're doing a redirect, you need to hide the redirect in here, which you're putting under here, right there. Okay. This is my click event handler here. So you don't want to call this grid streams, right? You'll call this grid bots. That looks right. Like that. Oh, you have this in here twice? But only in this one, right? So that means that in your widget index, you also need to have one for ID, right? You forgot to put on an ID here. So that means that back here on the controller, ID is equal to your bot.id. Okay. Like that. Back up here at index. Okay, and now you need to look at your, this has something on it called grid table. It's on your table, so that's here. Like that. I love it. That should work. Let's try it out. And also we should have our data grids running now. And also we should be probably getting our select. Did I put that code in there? I might not have. Let me see if I got my redirect in there. Yeah, there it is. So we come over and we look at our bots. Here it is. It looks like that it is in fact showing me ID. And it's not necessarily, it doesn't look like it's loading my that looks right. I don't think we need this one, right? Are you never doing function ready? I think that'll work. Cannot read of money sign grid bots. T body. Let's just take this out for a second. Oh, you have to set the definitions. I'm sorry. So you almost had this right. You have to, in your widget here, you have a different intro for these things. So up here, these things. This is how it wants you to do them. Like that. This one's going to be provider name, right? So your class here is like that, right? And then you're going to have a stream count. and then you'll have a channel count. Why are you not a big fan of data tables? I've also used the grid MVC or MVC grid. That one works pretty well too. What do you prefer? So close. So I think I have an example here. If I look in views under tables, I can look at data tables. You forgot DT basic. If you look back here, I feel like it's complicated to work with. I prefer not to work with data tables. I wonder what this is all about. We'll find out here. Oh. Let's try that. Let me just go ahead and comment these two out, right? Not going so good here, huh? Hold on one second. Is this all it is? Hey there, Mario Nascimento. Thank you for that follow. Appreciate that. If you have any questions, please put them in the channel. Also, all of these videos are up on YouTube, if you ever wanted to go back and check them all out from the beginning to the end. Oh. Let's try that. Negative, not at the moment, it's not. So is it not finding grid bots or something? Would help if you spelled it right. But if you looked at streams, so let's take a look up there real quick. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, it also wants this to be a child. Yeah, so you can see this one is working just fine. I'm just looking one more time real quick. Oh no, it does do a render partial on that. It does do a redirect too, and it does do a if you look back over here at index and you look at this table, and then it also probably wants me to have something here called a T head. That might have done it. Is it thinking about it? Is it not? Oh, it looks like it's going now. Sweet. So let's come back here and uncomment this stuff out. Like that, and then also this one, and then this one. And then also we want to uncomment my select code here. And then also this one. Hey there, FLINFI. This one is the bot. Who are you talking with, says David Tech. What do you mean? I'm talking with people over at Twitch, or people talking with people here at LiveEDU. I'm just talking to my friend Mike, who's XL Papa Bear. Hey, FLINFI. Still making Kingdom Colors, or is this something different? This one is the application that is surrounding Kingdom Colors. So we'll be bringing that in just a second. It looks like I'm having one issue here that it's not doing my selections, right? Do I say that this thing is selectable? Does it matter if it's selectable? Okay, let's see if we get an alert when I click it. No, so it's not loading everything. You shouldn't do this until after the page is loaded. Oh, okay. Is this thing running? Let's get rid of these. So close. Maybe you have to put this after the fact. You probably don't remember me, but I'm a guy from Russia that used to watch you, so sorry if I read something wrong. Oh, no problem. I kind of remember. I have a couple of viewers, more than a couple of viewers out from Russia. So thanks for coming back, man. If you have any questions, please put them in the channel. Happy to have you. I wonder what this problem is. Just another second. Oh, it's here. This is why. That'll work. Well, I have this working already. That's the thing. It's not like I don't have it working. Yeah. That's exactly what I've done. And I've done it with CSS, and it works over in streams, if you recall. I mean, watch. It's not like I don't have it already working. A second. Hello? Interesting. But it's just not taking over on this one. That might be it. That's because I copied in that most recent version. Now it's working. Wonderful. So now I can come back over to index. I can get rid of this alert. Can move this back up to where it belongs. And then down here, I can adjust my column definitions here so that my first one is not visible. My second one is. My third one is. My fourth one is. So this and this and this. So this one will be like 30%. We'll do 40%. This one will do 40%. This one will do 10%. And this last one will do 10%. Sorry about that. There it is. Let me back off that front one. Let's say this is 30% and that these are 15 and 15. That's pretty good. And now when I click on it, it's going to, table is not defined. It's because it does have to be defined after the fact. Or it has to be defined within document ready. Idiot. Okay, so now it's passing me over to bot details, and it's telling me that it's passed in the dictionary's bot response, so you have a problem in the controller. Like that. If my response code is equal to my integer of my HTTP status code dot okay, then we will return this view where my response dot bot. Here we go. Come on. Which one do you use, Mike, if you're still there? Instead of in lieu of DataTables. Have you seen Grid MVC? It's really quick. Okay, the Web API is loading. Okay, it's running. Now I can run the MVC. Okay, it's running. bot view model, but the dictionary requires a. So back here in the MVC under details, you probably have this in as an enumerable. Let's see if that works. There it is. I wonder why we have a little gap there. Oh, because this is a DT. To be completely honest, I build my own components using Vue.js. Most of the bloat that those data packages come with. That's a good idea, actually. I should think about that for the next one. Because I've been looking at Vue now. I mean, I've been heard a lot of really good things lately. And this needs to be a, oh my God, provider name and username, DT. There it is. Provider name. Just a second. There you go. Provider name and a username. So we need to start adding in the rest of the stuff in here. Also, this thing is in the wrong. This div needs to get moved below. Looks like we also need to have a back button in here. So if you look here under details, you can probably just chunk this whole widget footer. We can bring that up here into details. We have edit over here, and this one's going to go to bots, and this one will be a index of bots. Alrighty, see you in a bit. There you go. Come check it out. And we don't currently have an edit, but we're getting there. So remember, this one also is going to have a number of different routes and routed, so we need to make sure that we incorporate those, and we will. But for today, guys, I am out of time. I will be back tomorrow at about the same time, about 5:30 a.m. We'll be running till about 8 to 8:30 to 9. If you guys have any questions, the Discord is a great place, and we have a pretty good community of like-minded developers we've put together in about 2 years. And that's at discord.pixelhorrorstudios.com. Additionally, all of these legacy videos from the first one of this project all the way up till now, they're up on YouTube, and they don't have any music with them. So that way you can watch all of them if you want. So give me a follow over there if you could. We just need just a few more, and we'll be able to get a custom URL. And until tomorrow, guys, have a good evening, morning.